Welcome to the deep dive. So you sent us a really interesting one, Carol McClelland's Your Dream Career for Dummies.
Right. And, the For Dummies title might make you think it's super basic.
Yeah, but looking through it, there's actually some really solid stuff in here for anyone thinking about career changes, which, let's face it, is basically everyone at some point.
Absolutely. And it's smart. You're looking for ways to kind of cut through the noise and get straight to what actually makes a career fulfilling.
And McClelland, she seems to really know her stuff. Years as a career change consultant.
She does. And her whole philosophy hinges on this idea, this really important idea, that a good career isn't just what you do.
Right. It's got to match who you are, hasn't it?
Exactly. It's about alignment, living fully, feeling engaged, being yourself.
And she's built quite a presence around this careerclarityprogram.com, findyourdreamcareer.com.
Seasonsoftchange.com, hopeandinsight.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got another book too, The Seasons of Change.
Right, which looks more the emotional side, the ups and downs. But for this deep dive, we're focusing squarely on your dream career for dummies.
Our mission then
Is to pull out the key ideas, the actionable steps, to give you a real strategic edge in thinking about your own career path. Sound good?
Let's do it. Where does she start?
Okay, so part one is really about setting the stage. And the book, wisely, I think, starts by making you take a really honest look at where you are right now.
Makes sense, like establishing a baseline before you map out a journey. You need to know your starting point.
Exactly. Chapter one is all about that evaluation. And she's big on using the worksheets in the book. It's not passive reading.
No, definitely not. That self-awareness piece is just fundamental. You have to understand what's working for you, and maybe more importantly, what's really not working.
So you look at your personal life first. Social life, schedule, workload, all that outside of work stuff. Worksheet 1, 2, how you live, I think it is.
Yeah, that's the one. It's easy to just focus on the job, but your life outside work massively impacts what you need from work, and vice versa, of course.
Totally connected. Then it moves to the actual work arrangement, your commute, how you feel when you arrive.
Ugh, commute dread. Or maybe you love it.
Yeah.
But how you feel during the day, your energy levels.
Yeah, and the tangibles too. Pay, benefits. Worksheet 1, 3 is your time at work, and 1, 4 gets into your pay and benefits. We're really dissecting it.
And those feelings, those gut reactions when you walk in the door, they're often huge clues we just, ignore because we're focused on the logical stuff.
So true. And it's not just the environment. It's the work itself. What parts are working? What do you enjoy? And what tasks are just draining?
Identifying what's not working is often the catalyst for change, yeah.
Yeah.
But knowing what is working helps you build towards something better, something you'll actually stick with.
And all this initial digging culminates in Worksheet 1, 8, where you list your key needs, your non-negotiables, really.
Right. Moving from just complaining about problems to actually defining what a solution needs to look like for you.
Okay, so you've done the potentially uncomfortable self-assessment. Chapter 2 is called Opening Yourself to Discovery.
This feels like where it starts to get more, expansive.
Yeah, you shift gears here from analyzing what is to imagining what could be, thinking bigger.
Exactly. She talks about thinking ideally. Like, just let yourself imagine the perfect scenario for different career elements, even if it seems unrealistic right now.
It's surprisingly powerful. It helps you uncover what you really want deep down without immediately shutting it down with practicality. Then you can figure out the realistic steps later.
Lift the constraints, yeah. She also brings in attractors and repellers. What pulls you in, what pushes you away. Worksheet 2-3 helps map those.
Knowing what repels you is just as important, maybe more so sometimes. It helps you steer clear of bad fits early on, like red flags.
Definitely. And then she gives some practical tips for broadening your view. Follow little sparks of interest, browse different magazines, reconnect with old hobbies. Just opening yourself up to possibilities, yeah. These little explorations can sometimes lead to unexpected insights about what you actually enjoy.
And this leads into her finding creative solutions process. She uses these relatable examples, like a vacation dilemma or a commute dilemma.
Right, and breaks it down into steps. Identify the stuck point, find the essence of what you want.
Ah, the essence. That sounds key.
It is. Getting to the core need behind the surface problem. Then you brainstorm loads of solutions, combine ideas, and figure out actual actions.
It's a structured way to get unstuck.
Yeah.
And she also talks about tapping into dreams, longings, even cravings. Worksheet 3-6 is for that. She argues these aren't just whims, they point to deeper needs.
Yeah, like a compass pointing towards what truly matters to your authentic self.
Okay, so after looking outward, you turn inward again. Chapters 3 and 4 focus on understanding yourself better. One thing she covers is health, assessing how your physical and mental well-being affects career choices. Worksheet 3.7.
Super important. Your health underpins everything. Ignoring it is a recipe for burnout, no matter how great the job seems on paper.
Then there's this really cool part. Envisioning your dream lifestyle. Not just the job, but the whole picture. Time with family, hobbies, where you want to live. Worksheets 4.1 to 4.4 cover this.
That holistic view is vital. A dream career has to fit into a dream life, otherwise it's not sustainable.
And it's not just you in isolation. What about relationships? Partner, family, friends, even pets. How do they impact things? She uses an example, Bill the contractor, who had major family responsibilities shaping his work.
Absolutely. Relationships come with needs, desires for time together, responsibilities. You have to factor those in. They're often non-negotiables.
And hobbies, interest, just having fun. They're part of the equation too, not just afterthoughts.
Right. They contribute to fulfillment, can spark ideas. They're part of a balanced life.
And location, can't forget that. Local economy, infrastructure. Why do you live where you live? Is it by choice or default? Worksheet 4.3 gets you thinking about that.
Location opens some doors and closes others. Understanding its impact is part of the realistic assessment.
Right. So you've got a much better handle on needs, desires, lifestyle. Chapter 5 then gets practical, figuring out how to structure your work.
And this is crucial because the world of work has changed so much. The traditional 9 to 5 isn't the only game in town anymore.
Not at all. She talks about this fluid economy. Lots of different ways to work, like contract options, consultant, freelancer, self-employed. Worksheet 5.3 explores those.
Each with its own pros and cons, right? Autonomy versus stability, managing your own stuff.
Exactly. And schedule. Flex time, gliding schedules, compressed work weeks, ad hoc time off. So many ways to potentially structure your hours.
That flexibility can be a game changer for work-life balance and just, well, sanity.
And pay isn't just salary or hourly anymore either. Pay per project, commission, royalties, bonuses, different models to consider.
Which model fits depends on your risk tolerance, financial needs, the type of work. Lots to weigh up.
And benefits, of course. Can't forget those. Health insurance, retirement plans, paid time off. Plus, other perks like EAPs, maybe a health club membership. Worksheet 5.6 lists things to think about.
They add up. The total compensation package is more than just the base salary.
But maybe the biggest takeaway from this chapter, her warning.
Yeah.
Don't expect a career for life.
Oof. Yeah, that's a big one. Flexibility and adaptability are the name of the game now. You have to build that into your thinking.
Oh, true. Okay, building on that, chapter 6 is defining your preferred workplace. Looking beyond the task to the actual environment.
Yeah, where you work, the culture, the people. It makes a huge difference to your day-to-day happiness and success.
Definitely. So thinking about the type of company, sole proprietor, small startup, huge corporation, size matters for culture.
Absolutely. It affects bureaucracy, opportunities, whether you feel like a cog or, someone making a real impact.
And culture itself. What's the vibe? What are the underlying values? She really stresses how important this is. And if you go solo, you get to create that culture.
Finding a culture that fits your style and values is key to feeling comfortable and engaged long-term.
Then there's the company's purpose. Research, sales, education, healthcare. Does the mission resonate with you?
Aligning with the mission can give you that deeper sense of meaning, which is huge for fulfillment.
And the company's reach local, national, global. That affects things too. Potential travel, diversity of colleagues, even a small web business can be global now.
Right. The scope influences the scale of challenges, the interactions, growth potential.
And finally, the people. Different roles you might work with, consultants, temps, and crucially, what makes a good manager for you. Worksheet 6.12 helps with that.
Your boss and your immediate team can make or break your experience. It's a critical factor.
So this chapter wraps up by having you pull it all together into a profile of your ideal workplace. Worksheet 6.13, a clear picture of where you'd thrive.
That profile becomes your benchmark as you start looking at actual opportunities. Really useful.
Okay, groundwork laid. Part 2 gets into finding your passions. This feels like the really exciting bit. Chapter 7 starts with uncovering skills that make time fly.
Ah, flow states. Yeah, when you're so absorbed you lose track of time. That's a massive clue about what you're naturally good at and enjoy. Work doesn't feel like work then.
Totally. McClelland says these activities, the skills you use, point towards a career you'll love. She brings in Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences idea. Worksheet 7.1 helps you find yours. Uses an example, Linda the meeting planner, strong linguistic skills.
Recognizing your dominant intelligences, words, Logic, spatial, people skills, whatever helps you find fields where you'll naturally shine.
And she lists the 7 common ones: linguistic, logical mathematical, spatial, bodily kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal, interpersonal, with examples. It's a good reminder that SMART isn't just one thing.
Definitely broadens your view of your own talents. Maybe you dismiss something you're actually really good at.
Then she has you refine your skills list. Step 1, ditch skills you're good at but hate doing.
Yes, just because you can doesn't mean you should build a career on it if it makes you miserable.
Step 2, remove skills you only use personally, that you don't want to professionalize. Like maybe you love baking but don't want to be a pastry chef.
Right, distinguishing hobbies from potential professions.
And step 3, think about skills you use when helping others. What comes naturally when you lend a hand? Worksheet 7-4 prompts that reflection.
Those helping skills are often deeply ingrained and can be super rewarding professionally.
Then you look back at enjoyable projects. Find recurring themes. Worksheet 7-6. What patterns emerge?
Those patterns highlight underlying preferences for types of tasks or responsibilities you might not consciously recognize.
And it all leads to creating a top 20 favorite skills list. Worksheet 7-7. That's your foundation for brainstorming.
A really solid foundation built on what you're good at and actually enjoy.
Okay, so skills are covered. Chapter 8 moves to topics that make you sizzle with excitement. It's not just ability, it's interest, passion.
Exactly. Passion is the fuel. It keeps you going, keeps you engaged long term.
She gives this huge list of possible interest areas, just to get you thinking broadly. Art, science, tech, travel, you name it.
Yeah, just to jog your memory about things you might find fascinating, even if you haven't thought about them in a work context before.
And she suggests ways to uncover these topics. Look at articles you've saved, think about what you explain to others, childhood fascinations, big life events that sparked something.
And even listening to your own voice. When do you sound really enthusiastic? That's a clue.
Good point. So this leads to another list. Top 20 interests, worksheet 8-5, to go alongside your skills list.
And now you have the 2 key ingredients, skills and interests, ready for the next step.
Which is chapter 9, brainstorming intriguing career ideas, putting those pieces together.
This is the fun part, letting the ideas flow, connecting the dots between what you love and what you're good at.
So you take your top skills, your top interests, and just smash them together, see what comes out.
Pretty much. Brainstorm like crazy. Don't censor yourself at this stage. Quantity over quality initially. Get it all down.
Jot down ideas you already had, push for new ones, even weird ones. She says some great careers don't have neat labels anyway.
Exactly. Don't be limited by existing job titles. Maybe you need to invent your own role.
She suggests looking at the career examples in later chapters, communicating logical, creative types just for inspiration, to spark connections.
Yeah, those examples can trigger new thoughts about how your skills and interests could combine.
And the key advice? Write ideas down immediately. Worksheet 9-6. Don't let those sparks vanish.
Capture them. They're valuable, even the half-baked ones at this stage.
Okay, list generated, hopefully a long one. Now, part 3, sifting and exploring. Time to get critical. Chapter 10 is sifting out your most intriguing dream careers.
Right, the evaluation phase, taking that big brainstorm list and starting to narrow it down to the most promising options.
Oh, she uses worksheet 10-1. For each idea, ask, what excites you? And, crucially, what worries you?
Looking at both sides, the potential joys and the potential pitfalls, gives you a balanced view.
And pay attention to repetitive clues. If the same excitements or worries pop up again and again across different ideas.
That tells you something really important about your core motivators and your biggest concerns or deal breakers. Worksheet 10-2 is for tracking those.
And don't ignore the worries. They can guide you, maybe suggest different ways of approaching a field, or just highlight trade-offs you need to consider.
Facing the worries helps you assess if it's truly a good fit or if the downsides are too significant for you.
Then you group similar ideas into broader career themes, like her example, Joanne, grouping therapy, sports, training. Worksheet 10-3 helps you see the bigger picture.
Yeah, seeing those overarching themes can reveal larger directions and transferable skills.
And then a really vital step, identifying your key criteria, your absolute non-negotiables. She uses May, the therapist's grandmother needing travel flexibility, as an example. Worksheet 10-4 defines your keys.
Those keys are your filter. Any potential path has to align with these absolute must-haves. It keeps you grounded in your core priorities.
Keep those keys in mind constantly as you move forward.
They're your guideposts.
And encouragingly, she mentions combining themes, creating a unique, multifaceted career, like William Bridges' work. You don't have to pick just one box.
That's liberating, isn't it? The possibility of crafting something truly unique to you.
Definitely. Okay, chapters 11, 12, and 13 then provide loads of examples. Communicating careers, logical organized types, and creative careers. It's like fuel for thought.
Yeah, concrete examples to show how different skills and interests play out in the real world. Makes it less abstract.
So for communicators, writing, editing, sales writing mentions SOC of TechCom, National Writers Union, publishing, translating.
Also helping roles, rehabilitation, nursing, National Rehab ASOC, counseling, social work, recreation, NatRac and ParkASOC, HR, public safety, recruiters network, AmFed of police. It's broad.
Really broad. Then for the logical organized thinkers, sciences, AMIS to physics, computer and software engineering, i.e. computer society, i.e. financial analysis, CFA just accounting, AICPA, urban planning, APA, logistics, i.e.
Lots of analytical, technical, planning-focused roles where those skills shine.
And for the creative outside-the-box types, graphic design, illustration, graphic artist skilled, interior design, ACID, carpentry, AIA, mapping, surveying, performing arts, entertainment, NURAS, AGMA, various crafts, artists' equity.
Again, a huge range showing different ways creativity can be a career, visual, environmental, performance, hands-on.
Okay, that brings us to part 4, bringing your dream career to life. This is where the rubber meets the road. Chapter 14, researching your top 2 career ideas.
Yep, time to get serious about the frontrunners. Deep dive research is essential now. Move beyond the initial attraction.
McClelland says, really dig in. Confirm you actually understand the profession. Create job profiles. Focus on what you don't know yet.
Identifying those knowledge gaps is key. It directs your research so you're finding out what you really need to know, not just confirming biases.
She suggests online resources. Princeton Review, Monster.com, America's Career Infonet. Each gives different kinds of info.
Using multiple sources gives you a much more rounded picture than relying on just one.
And research the industry, too, not just the job title. What are the trends, the challenges in that sector?
That broader context is so important for understanding long-term prospects and stability.
And salary. Always big question. She points to salary.com, salaryexpert.com for estimates.
Getting realistic salary expectations is vital for figuring out financial viability and for later negotiations.
But it's not just facts and figures. Listen to your gut reaction during the research. Worksheet 14-7 is for capturing those feelings.
Trusting that intuition alongside the data gives you that holistic assessment. Does it feel right, as well as look right on paper?
Okay, research done. Chapter 15. Asking the right questions about your top 2 careers, primarily through informational interviews.
Yes, talking to people actually doing the job. Invaluable. You get insights you just can't find online.
She guides you on creating questions. What's the day-to-day like? Skills needed, training, salary outlook, industry trends. Worksheet 15-1 helps structure that.
Good questions get you beyond the surface level. Uncover the realities, the nuances.
And you need people to talk to. She suggests listing contacts, personal network, community groups, professional associations. Worksheet 15-2. Tap into who you know and who they know.
Networking is key here. Most people are actually happy to share their experience if you approach them respectfully.
Good advice. Stay objective during the interview. You're gathering info, not selling yourself yet.
Right. Keep an open mind. Listen more than you talk.
And afterwards, immediately write down what you learned. Worksheet 15-6 for discoveries, 15-7 for summarizing takeaways.
Capturing it fresh helps solidify the learning and spot patterns or contradictions.
And importantly, it's okay to change your mind. If the interviews reveal it's not a fit, pivot. Don't feel locked in.
Absolutely. That's the whole point of the research, to find out if it's truly right before you commit. Adaptability is strength.
Okay, now chapters 16 and 17 tackle merging personal life and career, making sure the dream job fits the dream life.
The integration piece, making it sustainable, making it real.
Aligning your ideal life vision with your ideal work environment preferences. Worksheets 16-1 and 16-2 guide that.
Seeing how they mesh or where the friction points might be.
And specifically thinking about family needs. How do they shape the work picture? Worksheet 16-3, back to Bill the contractor, needing family time.
Family priorities often dictate specific requirements around time, location, flexibility. Got to factor those in.
Then you identify where things are compatible and where they clash. Worksheet 16-4, honest assessment time.
Knowing the potential conflicts is the first step to resolving them.
And she brings back the target essence idea here for resolving those clashes, like John's commute dilemma example. What's the real need behind the conflicting desires? Worksheet 17 to 1, 17 to 2. Maybe it's less stress, not shorter commute.
Getting to that core essence unlocks more creative solutions than just focusing on the surface problem.
Which leads to another brainstorming blitz, this time for solutions to the life-work clashes. Worksheet 17 to 3, followed by developing short-term and long-term plans. Worksheet 17 for 4.
Having a concrete plan, both immediate steps and future goals, makes navigating those complexities much more manageable.
Okay, almost there. Chapter 18, moving ever closer to your immediate goal, taking concrete steps forward.
Action time. Based on everything you've learned, what's the next logical step for you?
McClelland outlines possibilities. Maybe you need more research in a specific area, or need to clarify your goal further. Assess your skills gap, gain experience, prep for a job search, or prep to start a business.
Different people will be at different stages, needing different actions. Identifying your current need is key.
If it's more research, take classes, read trade journals, talk to more people.
Immerse yourself, basically. Keep learning, stay current.
If it's skills assessment, compare what you have versus what the target role requires. Identify the gaps.
Knowing the gaps tells you what training or experience you need to acquire.
If it's gaining experience,
Yeah.
volunteer, take on side projects, maybe temp work in the field.
Get your foot in the door, build your resume, test the waters. Hands-on experience is gold.
If it's job search prep, polish the resume, mentions resumes for dummies, write great cover letters for dummies, network like crazy.
The essentials for presenting yourself effectively to potential employers.
And if it's starting a business, outline the idea, worksheet 18 to 4, check out the competition, start the planning process, worksheet 18 to 5.
Laying the groundwork, crucial for entrepreneurial success.
And if education is needed, figure out the best format. Worksheets 18 to 1, 18 to 2. Online, part-time, full-time. What fits your life and learning style.
Choosing the right format increases your chances of actually completing it and getting the most out of it.
Finally, Chapter 19. Turning your dream career into a reality. This outlines 3 main paths to the finish line.
The final push, moving from planning to actually doing it.
Goal 1, going back to school. Finding programs, choosing the right one, visiting if you can, making time, adjusting priorities.
It's a big commitment, needs careful planning and dedication.
Goal 2, going for the dream job. Killer application, nailing the interview, following up, evaluating offers, giving notice professionally, and then thriving in the new role.
The whole job search lifecycle, executed strategically.
Goal 3, starting your own business. Planning, marketing, refining the idea, learning as you go, finding balance. Mentions entrepreneurship for dummies, starting an online business for dummies.
Entrepreneurship is a journey, requires vision, resilience, continuous learning, and managing your energy.
And she wraps this up by stressing the need for your own personalized action plan and transition plan. Worksheet 19 to 4, your roadmap.
That plan makes it concrete, breaks it down into manageable steps, keeps you moving forward.
And lastly, part 5, the part of 10s. Quick hit wisdom from chapters 20 and 21.
Yeah, like essential reminders and extra tips to keep in mind.
She lists 10 ways to verify that your dream career is right for you. Things like trust your gut, talk to insiders, take a class, read trade journals, interact with pros, shadow someone, talk to outsiders for perspective, join associations, volunteer, attend conferences.
Basically, multiple ways to reality check your choice before you fully commit. Smart.
And 10 creative ways to make the leap. Practical stuff. Cut expenses, kill debt, live simply, get part-time work, maybe help a friend strategically in the field for experience, start a side business.
These offer ways to bridge the gap financially and experientially, making the transition smoother and less risky.
So, wow, that's a lot. Our deep dive into your dream career for dummies? It really gives you a comprehensive roadmap, doesn't it?
It really does. From that initial self-doubt all the way through research, planning, and actually making the change. Very thorough, very encouraging.
We really hope walking through it has given you a solid framework and some real actionable steps you can use.
And definitely engage with those worksheets. That's where the personal magic happens. It's an active process.
Couldn't agree more. It's about applying it to your situation.
So the real value comes from doing the work, the reflection.
Absolutely. Which leads us to our final thought for you today. Thinking about everything we've covered, what's the one single insight that really hit home for you? And building on that, what's one small concrete action, just one thing you can realistically do in the next day or so to move just a tiny bit closer to getting more clarity on your dream career? Something to think about. Until next time on The Deep Dive.